Welcome to the Deep Dive. Have you ever thought about how global leadership gets shaped? I mean, really shaped.
Yeah.
It's not always in those big, flashy public moments, is it?
No, often it's something quieter, something happening behind the scenes, maybe in university lecture halls or labs.
Exactly. And today we're doing a deep dive that crosses oceans, takes us right into some elite American universities. We want to explore something pretty transformative.
Right, we're focusing on how higher education in the U.S. has had this, well, profound effect on a whole generation of Indian changemakers.
And these aren't just abstract figures we're talking about.
Not at all. These are real people, often starting from, pretty modest backgrounds, middle class maybe, but they had huge ambition.
And incredible academic drive, right? Enough to get scholarships to travel thousands of miles just to pursue knowledge.
Precisely. They ventured across oceans.
So our mission today is really to unpack that journey. How did these individuals climb so high? How did they end up making such a mark across industries, politics, culture?
And what role did these top American universities actually play in their stories? It's often kind of an unseen factor.
We've dug into this and found some genuinely surprising connections, some really significant insights. I have to say, I'm personally fascinated by this whole transformation process.
It really does reshape how you think about global influence, how it's cultivated, how it spreads.
Okay, let's unpack this then.
Yeah.
Because like you said, it's way more than just a list of impressive names. It's this intricate story, isn't it? About how education and migration sort of fused together.
Fused is a good word. And the result was this immense global impact. You've got these young Indian students, maybe not with many resources initially,
Making this huge leap to places like Harvard, MIT, Stanford, Wharton, prestigious places.
and these weren't just places to, get a degree and leave. They really functioned more like incubators. Incubators of talent. Something special was definitely fostered there.
What makes them incubators, though? What was happening?
Well, what's really fascinating is how these places became like crucibles, a crucible, where things get melted down, refined under intense pressure, and come out stronger, maybe fundamentally changed.
Okay, I see. So it wasn't just about absorbing information.
Not just knowledge transfer, no. It was about shaping mindsets, broadening worldviews, forging leaders who went on to influence things way beyond their initial field. Indian industry, politics, sure, but also global business, academia, culture itself.
And they took different paths after this crucible experience.
Yeah, broadly, two paths emerged. Some took those new insights, that new perspective, and went back to India to build, to contribute directly to the country's growth.
Right.
Others stayed abroad, and they climbed often right to the very top of global corporations or institutions, but regardless of where they ended up physically.
They all represent this potent mix: intellect, immigration, impact.
Exactly. That confluence is the key theme here.
This is where it gets really interesting, I think, putting faces to the phenomenon. Let's start with Harvard. It seems like a good place to begin, given its reputation. And the list includes immigrants, but also leaders who stayed based in India, which is notable.
Right?
Ratan Tata, for example,
Yeah.
a giant of Indian industry, transformed the Tata Group.
Absolutely. And his time at Harvard Business School, the advanced management program, wasn't a full degree, but it was clearly pivotal.
How so? What did that specific program give him?
Well, it wasn't just general management theory. It seems it exposed him quite directly to more aggressive Western corporate strategies, things like M&A tactics, governance models that maybe weren't as common in India back then.
Ah, okay. So tangible tools.
Very tangible. And you can arguably draw a direct line from that exposure to his bold global acquisitions later on: Jaguar Land Rover, Tetley Tea, big moves.
So it gave him the confidence, maybe the playbook, to take an established Indian company truly global.
I think that's fair to say. He really came to define Indian business excellence, but with this significant global footprint.
That's a great example of targeted education leading to global strategy. And staying with Harvard, An Mahindra is another fascinating case, right? Focusing on diversification.
Yes, Anand Mahindra. He got his full MBA from Harvard Business School back in '81, and he really exemplifies that kind of forward-thinking approach.
As chairman of Mahindra Group, he pushed into IT, mobility, even electric vehicles. Pretty diverse.
Very diverse, and his Harvard experience wasn't just about getting the diploma. It seems to have instilled a really deep understanding of international markets, complex global supply chains, innovative financial thinking.
So he brought back more than just business skills.
He brought back a vision for transforming Indian business using a truly international strategy, moving beyond just traditional manufacturing sectors.
Okay, then there's a name, Rajat Gupta. His story feels Well, more complex. Harvard Business School MBA in 73, first Indian managing director at McKinsey. Immigrated to the U.S., rose incredibly high from humble beginnings.
It is a complex story, and it really brings up an important point, sometimes an uncomfortable one, about the pressures and the intense complexities faced by immigrant leaders on that kind of trajectory.
His rise was meteoric, inspirational in many ways.
Absolutely inspiring initially, but ultimately it became, as you know, a cautionary tale about ambition perhaps becoming untethered.
What does it illustrate, do you think?
Well, it highlights how that intense drive to succeed, which is often necessary, combined with the pressures of elite corporate life, maybe the unique pressure of representing your community on a global stage. It can lead to really difficult ethical crossroads.
So a reminder that even the brightest minds from the best institutions face profound challenges.
Profound personal and professional challenges, absolutely. It adds a layer of nuance to these success stories.
Shifting slightly, but still with Harvard connections, Ashish Nanda. He did his PhD there, became an HBS professor, former director of IIM Ahmedabad, still a senior academic, also immigrated from India.
Ashish Nanda's impact is really significant in a different way. He embodies how this intellectual bridge works in academia itself.
Strengthening ties between U.S. and Indian institutions.
Exactly. His work at both Harvard and IIM Ahmedabad was crucial in building those Indo-U.S. academic links, specifically in business education, fostering curriculum exchange, faculty development, joint research.
Yeah, elevating standards on both sides.
Yes, ensuring a continuous flow of ideas, talent, and best practices. His legacy is really one of intellectual ambassadorship in the business education sphere.
And this influence extends beyond business and academia into culture, too. Mira Nair, for instance, her MFA came via a Radcliffe-Harvard fellowship, an internationally celebrated filmmaker.
Yes, Monsoon Wedding, The Namesake, films known everywhere. She also immigrated to the U.S. and used her art to bridge cultures.
What did the Harvard connection provide for her, do you think?
Well, the fellowship likely provided more than just technical film training. It offered a platform, a space to develop her unique narrative voice, a voice deeply rooted in her Indian heritage, but able to speak to universal human themes.
Giving her a perspective to explore those complex stories.
Yes, that critical distance, perhaps, combined with a global perspective, allowed her to craft stories that navigate identity, family, migration between India and the West so beautifully. Her films aren't just movies, they're cultural conversations. A true cultural ambassador.
And one more from the Harvard list, Rahul Bajaj, another participant in that advanced management program, architect of Bajaj Auto's success, also a member of parliament in India, stayed based in India.
His story is important because it shows the impact wasn't always about leaving India. That global sensibility gained at Harvard could be applied directly within India.
How did that manifest?
The program likely gave him insights into global manufacturing, competition, different leadership approaches. He applied that knowledge to build Bajaj Auto into a major force, primarily in the Indian market initially.
And his move into politics.
That transition to being an MP shows how that broader understanding of global economics, governance, could translate into contributing to national policy, a real blend of corporate leader and public servant with that international perspective.
It's clear Harvard was a key player. But as you hinted earlier, this wasn't just a Harvard story, was it? This pattern, this impact, it ripples across other top U.S. universities, too.
Absolutely. It broadens the whole picture significantly.
Take Sundar Pichai, MBA from Wharton at UPenn, MS from Stanford, now CEO of Alphabet running Google, an immigrant from India.
Pichai's journey really highlights the power of combining deep technical knowledge with sharp business strategy. The Stanford MS, right in Silicon Valley's heart, gave him that tech grounding.
And the Wharton MBA?
That provided the strategic vision, the leadership framework needed to steer a massive, constantly changing entity like Google and then Alphabet. His legacy is about being a tech visionary who didn't just manage growth, but really expanded what a global tech company could be, pushing into AI, quantum computing.
So what does this tell us about the tech world and how global leadership forms there? It feels like these specific educational paths are almost pipelines.
They certainly seem to be powerful pathways, and Satya Nadella is another perfect example. His MS is from the University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee, and then an MBA from Booth at the University of Chicago, now CEO of Microsoft, also immigrated from India.
And the transformation he led at Microsoft. It's been incredible.
Just phenomenal. Nadella's engineering background from Wisconsin, paired with that rigorous strategic thinking honed at Booth, that combination equipped him perfectly to reinvent Microsoft.
Shifting it away from just Windows.
Exactly, towards cloud, towards AI. He revitalized a giant that many thought was, maybe losing its edge. His leadership style, too, often described as more empathetic, might also stem from navigating those diverse academic and cultural environments.
It's amazing how varied the institutions are, yet the impact level is consistently high. What about Vinod Khosla, MS from Stanford, co-founder of Sun Microsystems, then Khosla Ventures?
Khosla really taps into that unique Stanford entrepreneurial spirit, doesn't he? The MS gave him the tech chops, no doubt.
But Stanford's more than just tech skills, right?
Oh, definitely. It's the ecosystem, the innovation culture, the connections, that willingness to take risks that's so embedded there in Silicon Valley. As an immigrant, he leveraged that environment brilliantly.
Not just to build companies, but now as a venture capitalist too.
Yes, founding Sun was huge, foundational, but then founding Khosla Ventures, and now focusing heavily on global sustainability through technology. It shows how that initial tech expertise can evolve into driving much broader societal change.
Now, we focused a lot on degrees, but you mentioned Anar Narayanamurthy earlier. No U.S. degree, but strong U.S. ties through Infosys, which he founded. That changed Indian IT forever.
Yes, and this is such a crucial point. It broadens our whole idea of influence. If we connect this to the bigger picture, it really demonstrates the power of global connections, of intellectual exchange that happens outside formal degree programs sometimes.
So how did that work for Murthy?
Murthy, through Infosys, built deep strategic partnerships with U.S. tech firms and universities, Stanford being a key one. These weren't casual links. They involved technology transfer, joint projects, a really deep understanding of the U.S. market.
So influence can come from collaboration, from networks, not just diplomas.
Precisely. He brought Indian IT onto the world stage, largely by understanding and integrating with the U.S. tech ecosystem, building those vital connections.
That really does expand the definition. Okay, Indra Nooyi, her MBA from Yale School of Management, former CEO and chair of PepsiCo, immigrated from India.
Nooyi's time at Yale seems critical. Yale's management school has this reputation for focusing on business and society, a broader perspective.
And that seemed to fit her approach.
It seemed to align perfectly, or maybe deepened her own strategic thinking. She championed that performance with purpose agenda at PepsiCo. That meant weaving health consciousness, sustainability, right into the core strategy of a global food and beverage giant.
A major pivot for a company like PepsiCo.
Huge. And her ability to lead that kind of shift towards a more holistic view of corporate success really speaks volumes about her vision and perhaps the foundations laid during her education.
Then there's Arvind Krishna, PhD from the University of Illinois Urbana-Champaign, now CEO of IBM, another Indian immigrant leading a tech titan.
Krishna's PhD in electrical engineering, that provided immense technical depth. UIUC is a powerhouse in engineering and computer science.
So that deep technical grounding was key for leading IBM.
Absolutely. It prepared him not just for technical leadership, but to understand the fundamental technological shifts happening. His legacy is guiding IBM squarely into the hybrid cloud and AI era, essentially repositioning this legacy company for the future. It shows how deep research skills translate right up to top executive strategy.
And finally, someone with a slightly different path again, Shashi Tharoor, PhD from the Fletcher School at Tufts, former UN diplomat, now an MP in India, writer, speaker, lived abroad, now based in India.
Tharoor's journey is fascinating. Fletcher is renowned for international relations. His PhD there gave him this incredible grounding in global politics, diplomacy, cross-cultural understanding.
More than just academic knowledge.
Oh yes, it was immersion in how international systems work. His unique legacy is being this intellectual statesman, someone who can navigate the global stage in Indian politics with, well, remarkable fluency.
Bridging worlds through his work.
Exactly. Shaping the global conversation about India through his writing, his speeches, his public service. He connects these worlds with real intellectual rigor and eloquence.
So listening to all these incredible stories, there's definitely a common thread, isn't there? This blend of elite U.S. education and deep Indian roots. What really strikes you most about this combination? This mix of values, education, leadership?
I think what's truly striking is the adaptability, how they leverage that experience. For some, like Pichai or Nadella, the education was clearly a direct bridge to phenomenal success abroad, leading global companies, changing industries. But for others, maybe like Rahul Bajaj or Saru now, It provided a lens, a way to look back at India and see how to transform it, how to bring global perspectives or practices home. It's that two-way street of influence that's so powerful.
It really is compelling how they use that U.S. experience so differently. And they're clearly more than just, famous alumni. They feel like architects of modern India's reputation globally.
That's a great way to put it. Whether they're running Fortune 500s, creating cultural narratives known worldwide, or driving reform back in India, their stories really show how Indian values, that global education and visionary leadership, can come together to create something extraordinary.
Yeah, extraordinary influence.
And their success, taken together, it's pretty compelling proof, isn't it? That immigration and education aren't just about individual journeys. They're not just about getting a degree.
They're catalysts.
Powerful catalysts for transformation, capable of reshaping whole industries, nations, even the course of history in some ways. It really shows how talent, when it's nurtured and given that global stage, can produce incredible returns for their home countries and for the wider world.
It's more than personal achievement.
It embodies this ongoing, profound, global, intellectual exchange.
What an incredible deep dive. Just thinking about the sheer excellence, the impact of these legendary figures. They really are modern visionaries, bridging worlds, as you said, with brilliance, grace, and, well, a lot of grit too, I imagine.
Absolutely. Grit is definitely part of the equation.
And their stories really challenge how we think about national identity, about global influence. They show education, that cross-cultural exchange is still such a powerful engine for change worldwide.
It truly makes you wonder, doesn't it, how many similar transformations might be quietly brewing right now on campuses around the world, potentially reshaping our future in ways we haven't even conceived of yet.
A powerful thought to end on. All the best, and we will meet again with another important topic.